Okay, this is Whiskey Sierra here, Slayer to some people, Wolf Steel to others. This is an amateur's attempt to make a Dragongate guide video. You activate Dragoon Remus from him if you have access to it. Dragon Ravine, Dragon Ravine. You're going to go ahead and use its first effect to add. In this situation, we'll go ahead and just discard Blaster. You want to add Dragoonity Legatus from deck to hand. Activate Dragoonity Legatus from hand. Then special summon Dragoonity Remus from graveyard. Synchro summon these two together to make Dragoonity Knight Gay Durg. Should note, Dragoonity Remus can only be used as synchro material for Dragoonity cards. So you do not use Remus to try to make patter or something. Use Dragoonity Knight Gay Durg's effect. I'm just going to only show the very simple and basic way to play this. I'm not going to go too in depth, too complex. So you would always add Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. Then you discard Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. Use Blackwing Zephyros Elite's effect in hand to spin back your Dragon Ravine. Then you go ahead, use these two as link material to link summon Dragoonity Knight Romulus. Dragoonity Knight Romulus' effect, you'll use Dragoonity Glow, or search Dragoonity Glow rather. Then with Dragoonity Glow, you'll search Dragoonity Arma Mistletoe. How do you pronounce this name? I read cards, I don't say cards. I like to go ahead and just Dragon Ravine. Then Dragon Ravine. We'll keep Water Dragon. Discard Burner. You're going to add Dragoonity Phalanx. You need to have this card in hand for this part of the combo. Use Dragoonity Arma Mistleton's effect in hand to special summon itself by tributing Dragoonity Knight Romulus. Then, with Mist's effect, equip Gay Durg. Then go Dragoonity Glow and Graveyard effect, banish itself, and you special summon Gay Durg. Then use Gay Durg's effect. You're going to search a Morphage Lechery and discard Dragoonity Phalanx. Then you use these two to overlay in the XYZ material or XZ material for Hyriatic Dragon King of Atum. Hyriatic Dragon King of Atum's effect always detach Gay Durg. And then from deck with Atum's effect, special summon Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Then with Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, you'll go ahead and you'll special summon out Dragoonity Knight Gay Durg. Now, with the specific situation that we're in, we will go ahead and use Gay Durg effect, and we will search out Chamber Dragon Maid. We'll discard Mythic Water Dragon. We will normal summon Chamber Dragon Maid, and we'll search out Dragon Maid Tidying. Since we have access to Ravine, we can discard Tidying. The whole purpose of Tidying is reborn material. Now, with all four monsters on board, you use them as material to link summon out Saryuja with 4 materials. Saryuja Skull Dread effect activates, draw 4 cards. Always shuffle back Christia if it's in your opening hand and you got this far. You want Christia in your deck. With the other cards here, my logic would be to shuffle back Remus. Remus serves no purpose. We do have Blaster in the graveyard. But it would be better to summon out Redox from Spheres, so we'll shuffle back Redox. Now, we'll go ahead and we'll do Dragon Ravine. Dragon Ravine, well, we will send 1 Dragon Monster, dump Dragon Maid Tidying. And what we are going to dump will be Samsara Dragon, yes. Now with Dragon Maid Tidying's effect, special summon Chamber, doesn't matter where, because we're going to use her as material to link summon out Guard Dragon Pitsy. With Pitsy's effect, Summon for Dragoonie Knight Gaydurg. Now, with Gaydurg here, because of the way our hand's built, we will go ahead and add... Tempest can put in the grave. Yeah. We'll add Greed. Discard Tempest, Dragon Ruler, Storms. Now, we'll use Gaydurg and Pitsy as material to link summon Hieratic Seal to Heavenly Spheres. Yes, I know, Seal and Monster Zone. It's a jump scare to some people, but he's not staying long. We will now go ahead and use Samsara Dragon, banish it from graveyard, add back Dragoonie Arma Mist to hand, then you'll click yes on Tribute Summon. Get Mist, summon, Tribute over Seals, Chain Link 1 Seals, Chain Link 2 Saryuja. They're both mandatory. It's nice just to have it chain blocked. Always clip Dragoonie Phalanx in the graveyard, because Dragoonie Phalanx can special summon itself while it is equipped to a monster. Now, with Seal's effect, we will summon out Redox, Dragon Ruler, and Boulders. Well, now go ahead and do Dragoonie Phalanx. We will now go ahead and use Phalanx and Mist to Synchro Summon a Cell Stardust Synchro Dragon. Or Cell Synchro Stardust Dragon, yeah. Activate its effect, special summon back Dragoonie Phalanx. We will now use Phalanx and Stardust SL to make Bestial Dispatter. We will go ahead and use Blaster. Blaster, banish Burner, and Tempest. Activate Tempest, Dragon Ruler Storm's effect. What we can do here, we'll just grab a Remus. We'll now use Saryuja Skull Dread to special summon this Remus. Now we'll just link Remus away so it's safely in the graveyard. Now we contact Fusion using Striker Dragon, Blaster, and Redox to make Trishula, the Dragon of Icy Imprisonment, Chain Link 1 Redox, Chain Link 2 Trishula. Trishula will 90% of the time always banish Archlord Christia. I can't ever think of a time you wouldn't want to do this unless you have Christia in hand and you did not need to make use of Saryuja Skull Dread special summon effect. Then in this case, you could banish any other card that is a valid target for Patter, which would most likely be safer. But in this situation, Archlord Christia. Take a look at your opponent's extra deck. Let's get some deck knowledge. Pay attention to what card you banished. And just banish whatever you deem is appropriate. Now, with Redox, you're going to add a Morphage Envy. Pretty nice, simple stuff. You're going to scale a Morphage Greed and a Morphage Lechery. You will Pendulum Summon Envy. Now, a Morphage Lechery. While you control an Morphage monster, neither player can activate spell cards or their effects, except the Morphage cards. And you pay maintenance costs in your standby by tributing a monster from your side of the field, or you destroy this card. Greed is the same thing, except neither player can activate trap cards of their effects. Or their effects means if by some possibility they banish it, they get a card banished, or it's in the graveyard. They can't activate the effect of those cards. So, for example, I can't activate Dragongate Tiding if I had Dragongate Tiding in the graveyard now. And Envy, while he is Pendulum summoned, or flip face up, Neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck while this card is face up on the field, except the Morphage monsters. And to finish this entire turn off, use Bestial Dispatter. You will special summon this Archlord Christia that we banished earlier. Archlord Christia. Neither player can special summon monsters, meaning your opponent now cannot use Lava Golem, cannot use Kaijus, cannot special summon Kashtira monsters from the hand or graveyard because spells are locked down. They cannot use Forbidden Droplet. They cannot use Dark Ruler no more. They cannot use Infinite Impermanence. They cannot use Evenly Matched. Runic players cannot use any other spells. You also cannot set any Pendulum Scales except the Morphage cards now because of a Morphage Lechery. So your opponent, in effect, has the ability to draw a card, normal summon. And since Trishula banished 2 cards from our opponent's side, one off the top of the deck, one from the extra deck, Bestial Dispatter can now negate a monster effect, since we were able to shuffle back their banished cards. This is not the full power end board. This is a more or less the standard board you will be ending on. Sometimes you'll have an additional negate on the board. Let's go ahead and see if... Well, I'll go ahead and demonstrate what happens if your opponent attempts to play. They'll usually do something like this, if they don't scoop. When this happens, just do math. Morphage Lechery. We already have 8,600 on the board. So what we can do here is go ahead and say, yes, I want to pay the cost. We'll tribute Archlord Christia. And now Greed will go ahead and tribute Trishula. You can go ahead and look at your extra deck. I mean, what your banished pile is. Nothing good's in there. So we'll go ahead and activate Tempest Dragonlord Storms. We'll banish Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and a random Winged Beast card. Put this to the board. Put Patter in tap position. Patter. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. And then Red Eyes Darkness will just go ahead and summon whoever has the biggest attack. Which in this case will be Trishula. And you already know how this goes. Attack of your lowest attack. Swing. Swing. Swing with the Royal. And there you go. I'll go ahead and do one more duel real quick, just to see if I can't get jank. The whole purpose is just to give a rough, basic outline of what you're trying to accomplish. I won't be able to show you every single possible path. I won't be able to show you how to play through disruptions and interactions your opponent has. That's going to be up to you to put the hours into this deck and learn how to play. Okay, let me do some thinking here. Okay, we'll go ahead and activate Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon. We will get Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. We will activate the effect of Steam Dragon Lord to send Chaos Emperor to the graveyard. The special summon Title. We will now go ahead and activate Starlord Seifert. Seifert. Send Title. Add Tempest. Now, we do Starlord Seifert, Striker Dragon. Activate the effect of Not Division that we had in hand. Now, we go ahead, Link Summon, make Romulus here. Chain Link 1, Dragoon and Knight Romulus. Chain Link 2, Not Division Dragon. We already have Dragoon the Glow, so naturally we'll just go ahead and draw a Dragon Ravine. This hand's just suddenly become really gassy. Okay, we'll go ahead and activate Seifert's effect in Graveyard to add back Chaos Emperor Dragon of Armageddon. We'll now go ahead and activate Dragon Ravine. Dragon Ravine, add 1 level 4 or lower Dragon Nudity monster. Go ahead, Chain Link 2 Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. Add Crystal Beast. Add a Ravine. Add a Remus. The reason I did not want to banish Tempest earlier, because I knew I'd get access to Ravine, is sometimes you can do this. Tempest, Crystal Beast, activate the effect. Add one designated card from your deck to your hand. Ooh. Hang on. Got title, right? Yes, I do. Okay, we'll add Pile Arm Dragon. Go ahead, activate title. Banish Tempest. Banish Stream. Chaos Emperor. Scale it. Add it. We'll go ahead and target our Tempest. Dragon roll over its effect. Add it back to hand. Pile Arm Dragon. Send. Pile Arm Dragon. We'll go, since we don't... Yeah, we'll go ahead and send level 5 in this situation. Boost any cards, random attack. Arm Dragon Thunder level 5. Go ahead and add Dragoonie Armagram. Dragoon. Now we'll just do Dragon Ravine. Pay attention to what we got here. Yes. Add. Discard Graham. Get Legatus. Do Legatus. Do Remus. Okay, Durg. Now, we'll still want to go ahead and do Zephyros here. Zephyros will spin back this Ravine. Go ahead and do Dragoon of the Glow. We'll get Dragoonie Armor Mistletoe. Do this, tribute this. Do this. Now, we're in a weird situation that I've actually never been in before. To free up... This is honestly weird. I've never been in this situation. I've never had to do this. Okay, do Skull Dread. I've already normal summoned. Getting Baby Rock is ridiculous. We'll do this, this. We've already used all these effects. So we'll keep a hold on that Ravine for now. Okay, what we'll do here... We'll do Lechery. We'll discard the Baby Rock. Baby Rock will special summon itself. He's just going to chill here for now. Alright, Dragon King of Attune. Do this. Discard this. Get you. I know, I'm blocking Pissy Zone. Don't worry. That's not going to be much of an issue for much longer. Let's see. What I can do here. Okay, well this. Yeah, we'll get the Samsara. I could have done this a lot better, but I want to show what a... what a partial floodgate board will look like. I just had to make sure I hadn't used Sarge's effect yet. Okay, so now we'll go ahead. We'll use Gaydurg and Hyriadic Dragon King of a Tomb. Now we'll use Samsara Dragon here. You specifically have to make sure a tomb goes to the graveyard because Mistletoe has to be in the graveyard. He was still attached to a tomb. Add back Dragoonie or Mist. Tribute Spheres. Chainlink 1 Spheres. Chainlink 2 Saryuja. And Trishula also has to contact fusion with dragon types, specifically, to activate its effect, by the way. And now we'll go ahead and we'll put Redux here. We'll go ahead and get this guy out of the way. With Graham, always want to banish your Winged Beast when you special summon him. Now, we will go ahead and contact fuse these guys away. Trishula. Chainlink 1 Redux. Chainlink 2 Trishula. I could have played this a lot differently. I just wanted to show off some of the card interactions and what you will do if you can't make a full end board. So we have Lechery. There is no real feasible way where we can still... I'm lying. Am I? Hang on. Yeah, there isn't a real feasible way to get the full end board here. So we're just going to end on a 2/3 floodgate board. So what we're going to do here... we Dragoonie Phalanx, Mistletoe here. Make a Cell Synchro Stardust Dragon. A Cell Synchro Stardust Dragon will now bring back that Dragoonie Phalanx. Now, using Baby Rock. We leave Phalanx. We make Bestial Dispatter. Make sure you leave a link arrow open when you want to do this. Chaos Dragon, Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. We'll banish the Spheres. And a Striker. Special summon to Link Arrow from the extra deck. Dragoonie Knight Arid Bahard. How do you pronounce his name? Reason we made this here. He has to be made of a Dragoonie tuner. Dragoonie Phalanx. He is a monster negate. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish one Dragoonie monster from your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. And if he destroys an opponent's monster by battle after damage calc, you can banish that opponent's monster. Now, what we're going to do here, we scale Lechery. Envy has a pretty respectable defense of 2050. So, we'll just use Saryuja. Face up defense position. Patter now summons out Christia. This is what you do in the event you can't make a full lock. Because Envy here has to be pendulum summoned to lock the extra deck. But that's okay. His whole purpose is having a high defense. So almost every normal summon monster in the game that people are going to run in ladder can't beat over his defense score. Lechery, this has to have the Morphage monster face up on the field. Doesn't matter how it was summoned. So our opponent can now no longer use spells and their effects. Christia locks special summons, period. We have, thanks to Trishula, 2 monster negates. Patter specifically negates monster effects. So use Patter first before Read Bahard. Because there are some monsters out there that can potentially out this board that activate in the damage step. A Read Bahard will be able to negate the damage step ones. So you want to reserve his negate. if you have to use your negates. And this end phase, your opponent, if they don't scoop, will do something like this. Lechery. Pay the cost. Get rid of Christia. Look at your extra deck, or look at your graveyard. See what can be summoned. Red Eye's Darkness is actually one of the strongest cards, so let's go ahead and activate Patter's Effect. Whenever you can, banishing Darkness is always a good idea if you have to do this, because now he just brings out by Patter. And swing, bada, bada, swing. Okay. I tried recording earlier. Apparently my microphone wasn't set to the right setting, so this is the second time I've tried recording this. So, 2 duels is all you get from me. I showed the basic path. I showed some interactions. I'll go over the deck list real quick. And I'll also be sharing a Master Duel Meta profile on the page. So yes, 60 card deck. Some things I'll touch on real quick. The reason why Mist Valley Baby Rock is primarily ran in this deck, he can be used for several things. The first and primary use, if your hand has enough gas in it, where you are able to make Romulus after synchro summoning off Gayderg away for this, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon can be your exact 5th summon to play around the Biru. So, this is going to be a matter of piloting experience and judgment. If your hand permits it, you can make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, then do your plays further on to make Romulus, and then you will distribute Romulus with Dragoonie Armor Mist. The second purpose Mist Valley Baby Rock is here for, if you have determined that your opponent has Bestials in their hand, usually if you have the hand permitting, like say you activated Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, they didn't have any reaction to its effect when you was activating it, but as soon as they hit the graveyard, they're able to. That's a pretty clear sign that it's going to be a Bestial. You can, instead of searching Blackwing Zephyros, search Mist Valley Baby Rock. It will special summon itself when it gets discarded by Gayderg, and then you make Romulus with this. Things I have to stress: this is a win. The only way you can resolve Mist Valley Baby Rock's effect in this deck is having it discarded to the graveyard by Dragoon Knight Gayderg Chainlink 1. If you try to send it to the graveyard by Dragon Ravine, by Lightning Dragon Ruler of Drafts, or Tempest Dragon Ruler of Storms, it will miss timing. Just keep that in mind. Sometimes you will have to send it to the graveyard regardless, because that's your only play. Just understand you will never be activating its special summon effect if you send it to the graveyard in any other way other than Gayderg. A matter of pilot choice is Sacred Sword of 7 Stars. I run this simply because I couldn't determine what would be a better 3 cards to fit into the deck to make it 60. And there's going to be some situations where it is great to have. If you open any ruler plus Seifert plus Sacred Sword, Seifert, send Blaster, add Tempest, Sacred Sword, banish Tempest. Tempest adds you Remus, you draw 2, you have Blaster in the graveyard, you have Seifert on board. You want to leave this Seifert on board if you can. That way you can use Seifert to make Pitsy under Saryuja, since we've normal summoned. If you can't, that's fine. It's just something you can keep in mind. Nato Vision here is a matter of choice. You do not have to run Nato. I run Nato because sometimes there's going to be some safer plays. And since I run 3 Pile Arm Dragons, there might be times where I don't need to use Safer to get me into Pile Armed. Pile Armed exists because he's able to help thin your deck from 60 out more. And he gets you a body, and depending on what you need. If you use Armed Dragon level 5 for his send effect, Armed Dragon level 5 can add you Tempest. Tempest can get you access to Aramis. If you don't need that, you can just go ahead and send Armed Dragon Thunder level 3. He just will get you a draw card. Not the best thing in the world, but when you're using Pile Armed, it's because you're using Pile Armed to put usually a ruler into the graveyard. Because rulers have nice banish effects and all that fun stuff. And this is just to guarantee that we don't need to always use Thunder Dragon. Sometimes we just want to draw a card and have another card in hand. But you can also use level 5 to add Graham. Graham can banish some rulers for you, get a body on the board. It's just a matter of choice. It's going to be game state. Most of the time, you will be sending 5 to get you Tempest or Graham. But if you don't need to get out of those cards, level 3 here exists to be used with Tempest, with Lightning, and Pile Armed can also send it if you open it in Pile Armed. It's a matter of choice. You can cut most of these cards. If you see this, you like the core idea of it, and you want to experiment, I will go ahead and show you what the bare minimum cards that you will need to make everything here work. Let me double check. This is the default main deck engine. And if you want only the extra deck pieces that specifically are needed to make the magic happen, here you go. This is as the minimalist you can have for the specific cards you need to make it work. It'll be up to your decision if you want to just run enough cards to make it 40 or fill up the deck with more gas for 60. You can run hand traps. However, just like with other FTK themed decks, because this deck is in essence an FTK, the whole point is to shut down the game so your opponent cannot play. With that said, almost every FTK themed deck does not run hand traps, because opening a hand trap going first means that that's a card you most likely cannot make use of. Now, you are able to go heavier on using the Dragon Ruler babies and the Dragon Rulers themselves. You can use the Blaster Baby and Ash Blossom, because they're both fire, to summon out Blaster. You can use Redox Baby, Reactin, or however you say his name. Since it's Earth, you can send Earth. You be able to send. You can send Max C, because Max C is Earth, so you can send Reactin plus Max C, special summon Redox. You don't ever want to really use Redox's effect from hand unless you absolutely have to, because we want to banish Redox to add Morphage. But if you have determined, because of how your opening hand was and maybe some hand traps your opponent hit you with, that you won't be able to end on full board, then it's safe to use Redox's hand effect, because you're able to send Redox plus an Earth to the hand. Where is it? Target one monster in your graveyard, special summon. So it's basically a Reborn. You could also run, I want to say, Ghost Ogre? No, that's light. Bell. Bell is Earth. Yes. Bell is another hand trap that you can play with. And you can definitely run Droll, since Droll is wind. Droll can be sent to graveyard with Tempest and Tempest Baby, which is great, because Tempest send itself plus another wind monster to the graveyard. You can add any dragon deck or any dragon monster from your deck to your hand, which will most likely be Remis. But if you already have Remis, or you have Ravine and you have the gas permitting, you can add an extender or a toolkit piece. I can't think of any really useful water attribute hand traps, so Tidal could be cut entirely if you don't want to. I would advise not running Imperm because Imperm is purely you're playing Imperm if you think you're gonna go second. Ash you can play with some of your cards. Droll you definitely can play with your cards, assuming you open the right cards. My advice: this is a meme deck. Let me show you what I mean. This deck is expensive for people who don't already have these cards made. Just counting off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We'll go ahead and say 15. This isn't really a staple. 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 URs if you manage to pull Trishula from Legacy Pack. That's a lot of URs for a meme deck. I cannot stress this enough. This is not a competitive deck. This isn't a deck that's going to get you notoriety for topping in a tournament. This isn't a deck that's going to easily get you to Master Rank 1. This is purely a, haha, I'm bored. I want to see my luck, floodgate my opponent, make somebody want to throw their fist through the dry roll. That's the whole point of this deck. I made this out of boredom. The only reason I'm even making this video is because I've had quite a few individuals reach out to me and ask how do they play it. If you're that individual, or if you're an individual among those people that have asked me to do this, you gotten this far to this video, please understand this is not a serious deck. This is not a replacement to a meta deck. This is not the future of Dragon Link. I cannot stress this enough. This isn't even Dragon Link. This has almost no similarity to Dragon Link in its current state. This deck is just a pile of dragons doing something funny that ironically works well when it works. That's it. If you have the spare materials to craft this deck, or for some reason you have a lot of disposable income and all of a sudden you want to drop money and make this deck, power to you. If there is still enough requests, I will make another video where I just go into solo and I just do a whole bunch of random decks. And maybe one day I will either record being in a match or just record myself narrating a replay. I did specifically solo because there's no time limit, and I'm just wanted to show you what the deck can accomplish without your opponent disrupting you. Because if you're able to see the basic paths, you're able to see those basic paths, memorize it, see what you can and can't end on, and then you learn how to play the deck from there. If you do craft this deck, I recommend you go into solo and you spend hours learning this deck, because it is and is not linear. It's linear in the fact once you learn it, you can see what you need to do. It is not linear in the fact that you have to put in the hours to see it and how everything interacts with more than you would a meta deck. Because a lot of meta decks can kind of play themselves at the basic entry level. Whereas with this deck, there is no really playing itself at the entry level. This deck doesn't have a very standard, simple, easy, haha, I activate my OP 1 card starter, now I end on a board of 5 negates. This deck cannot do that. This deck does not have a playing itself entry level skill selling. With all that said, if you do make this deck, this video puts you on to understanding it. If you have any questions, you can reach me on the Master Duel Meta Discord and the Dragon Link channel. I usually lurk there. Just look for my profile name on there is Whiskey Sierra, just like how it is here. That's my name on the Discord. If you suffered through this extremely amateurish video, thanks. You don't need to subscribe. You don't need to like. I'm not a content creator. I'm not here to get famous. I'm not here to be successful. I don't want to make money off this. The only reason I did this video is because people have been bugging me for a year to make a guide. And this is the easiest way to do it. So, yeah. If you make this, good luck. Have fun. I hope you floodgate somebody in my name. And if you don't, you somehow stumbled on this by accident. Or if you're here to like, I'm gonna watch this dude's video and criticize him, don't. I know this deck sucks. I know my video making skills suck. This deck isn't a serious deck, it's for fun. Like, Blue Eyes is arguably better than this deck. That should tell you something. Blue Eyes sucks. And if you're a Blue Eyes player, I'm a Blue Eyes player. I like Blue Eyes. The decks suck. We need to accept that. This deck here, Dragongate, as I've called it, it sucks. It's a meme. It's not competitive. I'm repeating this over and over and over because I do not want you wasting your materials making this deck. Please don't. Only make this deck when you've made literally every single deck out there, and then every other deck that you might consider making. Then you make this deck. Because it sucks. It loses going second hard. Like, if you win going second, it's because your opponent bricked. Which means any deck would have won in that situation. This deck can win under Max C in niche circumstances. In fact, you could even go as far as to cut one of the baby Tempest, and then you run this funny card. Card Destruction. We special summon a lot. I have physically decked people out with my special summons. That was before Chaos Ruler and Baby was banned. But you could still do it. You just have to know how this deck plays. That said, please don't. You can, if you're playing this deck, take the Maxi challenge anyways, because you've already lost most likely, but you might win. You might run into someone who built their deck badly, and then you educate them on deck construction. Yes, I know that's ironic coming from somebody who made this stupid abomination. Well, I'm calling it quits here. This video's not getting edited. This is a one take and done. It is a extremely not even amateur. I have no editing skills, no video recording skills, no content creating skills. It's just a guide. I probably rambled on way too much already. So, yeah.